What's going on, good people? This is Levi Burt T with another episode of the Old Nigga Section. And we are now trying to figure out, it's voting time. It's 2024. We got the Olympics this summer, if I'm correct. Yeah. And one of the most important pieces of the year is us voting. This weekend we had Big T in my city in Greensboro. I'm sure it was probably a huge support. I know they had the highway fucked up. So I guess that's pretty cool. But the reason I'm having this conversation today is we need to figure out who we are voting for. I'm 43, and for at least 20 plus years, I have voted Democrat straight down the line. And sometimes I don't see the positive results of voting Democrat, which is why I ask myself now, what should we do? A lot of people are upset about Big T and very, distraught. I don't even know if I'm using the right word for that, but a lot of people are upset because they know Trump is about to win again. And we've had plenty of years, but nobody has stepped up from the Democratic Party to be a good candidate against Big T. And that's an issue. That's a real issue right now, because we are going to get to the point where I remember when Big T was in office, every single day you go on Twitter, you go on Instagram, somebody saying something about him, they replaying his speech or something, or just having conversations about him, anything that he said, anything that he's currently doing, any laws, anything they're doing. People was actually engaged. So I'm thinking within that time period, somebody will come up and be like, all right, I'm gonna run against Trump. I'm gonna be ready to go against Trump. I mean, we got Biden in there, but man, I mean, let's be honest, Americans. That man is old. And it doesn't look like he's getting any better. He needs to enjoy the rest of his life doing something else outside of making rules for the world. That's something we got to fix too. Like, give me somebody young. Give me somebody like early 50s, late 40s. Like somebody who understands the government and the operations of this corporation to get it going and to make sure that we are, ahead of the game for the next 1,000 years. It takes the person now to step into that role to make sure that that happens. And we need to find somebody, whether it's Democrat or Republican, who's going to do just that. Me, myself, I don't know how I'm voting this year. I don't know. I've given my vote Democrat for plenty of years. Sometimes I just don't see it. Sometimes I only see, like when it comes to the Americans of my skin tone, we only hear from the Democrats when it's time to vote. After you get our vote and you get in the office or whatever the case may be, we never hear from you. I don't get any letters. I don't get no updates. I don't get anything. I don't get no kind of communication like, yo, thank you. Like nothing. It's just like, all right, vote for us because we the Democrats, and then that's just it. And then we're asked out going forward. So that's why I ask now, what do we do? Do you know anybody that could run against Trump? If not, think about it like this. If we don't have anybody to go against Trump, then that means we as Americans need to be up the Republicans' ass trying to figure out what they're doing and seeing how we can work together for the next 4 years. Like why would we sit back and be upset and complain like we did the first time Trump was in office? There's no need to complain. This is the time to try to bridge the gap and try to figure out what we can do together to make this country better. I mean, because there's a lot of issues going on. I've been like seeing people from New York talk about the migrants and Chicago displacing people's homes to put migrants there. That's a real issue for Americans. Like I said, I know this country's allowed everybody in there and stuff like that, but we have issues here now. And if you are in charge in the government and you are pushing for somebody else outside of us to receive benefits that we work for, Hey man, that's a problem. I don't care, Democrat, Republican, whoever signed off on that, that's a problem. We already have problems with jobs now. So you would rather bring people in who's gonna mess that part up even more? I mean, I thought the goal was to get everybody working, get everybody going so we can keep this economy going. But if we keep bringing in people that we got to take care of, that's a real problem. And that's something we really got to think about. So it's like when you start making these, you know, vote for me and stuff like that, these are things I need to know. Who's trying to legalize weed in North Carolina? I need to know. That's where my vote's going. Who's trying to progress this? Whoever said let's bring sports betting in North Carolina, I wonder how that's going to affect us in the future. But that's the person I want to vote for, because this is somebody who's trying to think progressively. Like, I need somebody who's thinking like, let's think towards the future. And migrants ain't the way. Not, at least not for me. I don't really have no issues with a lot of stuff, because a lot of stuff in politics I am not as knowledgeable on. I know I am a regular American. I got a regular job, manual labor. So, you know, for us, I'm thinking like whatever's going to take to bring some stuff down so that my wages can go up. Because right now, if you think about it, there is housing issues that we have. You bring more people in here, and the housing is the cost of housing has skyrocketed for the same exact place. The same apartment that used to cost $550 is now $850. There's no new sink, no new tub, no new shower. Like there's nothing new, no walls different, no bigger space, but you're paying 2 times the amount that you paid just 2 or 3 years ago. That's a problem. That's something Americans need to figure out. We need to figure out what's going on, because everybody is eating off of us, and we are the people who are not getting the most out of the situation. That's a problem. That's a real life issue right there. You're telling me that everybody's going to benefit off of us? Come on, fam. Something got to give. And that's something that we as a people have to come together. All Americans, we all here together. No matter what you represent, no matter what your color is, we are all Americans. And the most important thing is to make sure that we're straight. Then we can focus on Ukraine and all these other people and all these other right here on the soil. This is where we need to put our focus at. This is where we need to put our resources, our minds into making sure that right here is fine. Artificial intelligence, that technology is starting to take over. I mean, you don't even have enough checkout lines in Walmart anymore. You know, that's a huge store. You got 20 registers and maybe 4 of them active, if that. So now you have all of these people that don't have jobs. Something we got to think about, y'all. We need to start getting our kids together and start innovating and making new things and creating. Because think about it, if we could just create something new, we can create a whole new industry, which will provide jobs and boost the economy again. This is the things that we need to invest our time and our resources in. That starts with how we vote as well. We have to make sure that we get this vote right, no matter who it is. So whatever it is, we got to figure out. I'm starting with North Carolina. Greensboro, and Bertie. You know what I'm saying? Like, who's voting for who? Who's trying to take this state to the next level? Then we'll worry about the country. And think about who's trying to take this country to the next level in a positive way. Like, because we got to stop this whole, I'm only voting Democrat. Yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, these niggas is trying to take away, you know what I'm saying, abortions and stuff like that. And that's bad. But we need to figure out who's trying not to take abortions, but also trying to make sure that there ain't no migrants either. There has to be like a fine line where everybody wins. And if we vote properly, we can get somebody that will make sure that everybody wins. And that's what we have to do as Americans. I don't know what it's going to take. for us to come together to make this happen. But this is something that has to happen really, really soon, because if we don't take the time out to repair this nation, we're going to lose this nation. And it's as simple as that. We can figure this shit out. Like, what we got to do? Just make prostitution legal or something? Like, it's just little things that we can do to boost the economy. Like, I don't know what it's going to take, but we got to figure this out as Americans, and we got to figure this out together. And the first thing we're going to do is figure out who we're going to vote for. I will chat with you a little later about that, and let's start this series. Let's figure out who we're going to vote for in North Carolina, and then who we're going to vote for the president. All right, love y'all. Peace.